fella. Don't suppose I could tempt you to come live on this planet, could I? It's got lots of ice. What was that? Water. Oh, I knew I forgot something. Yeah, okay, you need fish. That's fine, it was an oversight. Sorry to trouble you. It's a great planet, loads of jungle. Wait, you guys need desert? Big litter tree.
Hi, I'm Rhiannon, and I'm going to be reviewing Planet. This is a game for 2 to 4 players, in which you're going to be adding tiles to your own individual planet to try and meet certain habitat objectives and also entice lots of lovely animals to come and live there. The game is played over 12 rounds and is set up as shown here. Each tile is split up into 5 areas, which are made up of water, mountain, ice, forest and desert. The tiles are also magnetic, which means they stay securely in place and you're not going to lose a whole continent in the event of an earthquake. Each player is secretly assigned a terrain type, and they will receive bonus points at the end of the game depending on how many areas of this terrain they collect. Each round, you'll be choosing a tile to add to your planet from a selection of 5, starting with the first player and going clockwise. From round 3 onwards, you'll also be checking to see which planet has best met the needs of each of these adorably illustrated animals. You work out the region size by adding up the areas of the same terrain type that are connected along at least one edge. So this water region is made up of 7 areas. There are 3 different types of animal card. This first type wants the biggest region of one habitat that is touching at least one area of a second habitat type. So this little fox wants a big old stretch of forest that's touching at least some Arctic ice. Other animals require the biggest region of one habitat type, which is not touching a second terrain type. So this cute little seal wants the biggest stretch of ice possible that is absolutely nowhere near the mountains. I mean, have you seen seals trying to move on land? They're barely coping on the flat. The last type of animal are the greedy pandas. These animals want a planet that has the most separate regions of a particular habitat. So this handsome lump wants the most unconnected forests, presumably because he's planning on eating 25 kilograms of bamboo every day. If there's a tie between 2 planets, no one claims that card for the round. Instead, the card moves up a row and is up for grabs the next round of the game. Once you've determined which planet has met the animal's requirements, the animal card will go to that player. And at the end of the game, each of these animal cards is worth 2 points, unless the animal's main habitat type matches the secret terrain card that you were assigned at the beginning of the game. Then they're only worth 1 point, because it's less impressive if you manage to lure a scorpion back to the post-apocalyptic desert badlands that you've been cultivating all game. It's incredibly satisfying going from a blank canvas to your own unique planet, which was tailored to your needs throughout the game. It's just good-natured fun watching your animal kingdom grow. Everybody's going to have their favourite card, and when you do finally claim that elephant that you've had your heart set on the whole game, you are going to feel a sense of achievement. One of the best elements of the gameplay is the balancing act between trying to complete your mission cards and collecting the animal cards. You can't afford to neglect these entirely. However, I am not convinced that the points reward is enough for you to make them anything of a major focus in the game, because you will miss out on animals who want different terrain types. The number of points that you receive for these terrain cards depends on how rare that habitat type is on the tiles. For instance, to get a maximum of 10 points for desert, you need 23 desert areas. To get the same 10 points for water, you need to have 30 areas. Now, your planet has 12 sides, and each tile has 5 areas, giving you 60 in total. So to get full points for water, you need half of your planet to be sloshing around with ocean. And I know that's nothing on good old 2/3 water Earth, but I think it might be almost impossible to achieve that. The components in this game are really excellent. I think the dodecahedron is a brilliant design, and it's way more than just a gimmick. It adds a fun 3D twist onto the much-used tile laying mechanic. The other great thing about the tiles being magnets is that you can use them to decorate your fridge or radiator. One slight difficulty is that as your planet fills up towards the last few rounds, you need about 8 hands to count how big each region is and how many of each region you have on the planet. So don't play against an octopus or a spider, because they will beat you. One thing to bear in mind is that it can be quite difficult to see how your opponent's planets are shaping up and how big each of their regions are. Because you don't have everything laid out flat on the table, you can't just glance over and check.
Don't mind me.
Luck plays a huge part in this game, which not every player is going to enjoy. You take it in turns being first player, which means that sometimes you'll have the full choice of 5 tiles to pick from. But when you're the last player, you've only got a choice of 2. And because the tiles are random, you don't know what you're going to end up with. This means that some of your plans can be ruined just because the right tile doesn't show up, and there's no real way of mitigating this. It's not like you can use a power to swap tiles around, and once you've placed them on your planet, you can't move them. That's not too much of a problem though, because this game is just a short, light, fun puzzle, and if you take it for that, then it's not too frustrating if on some rounds you don't get the tile that you need. Overall, Planet is a really entertaining filler game with a lovely theme. It's easy to teach, and is simple yet engaging. I think it has enough interesting choices to appeal to regular gamers, and it's also so accessible for families and non-gamers. It's a real crowd pleaser, so if you get the opportunity, then it's definitely worth giving it a try. Boy, have I got a deserty planet for you.
Ice? What the hell do you need ice for? You're from the Kalahari. Ice hockey? Curling?
You fussy, ungrateful little... Wait, no, come back! Oh.
Thank you for watching the video. I had a really fun time making it, so I hope you enjoyed watching.